All right. Namaste, everyone.
Namaste.
So, thanks for joining. My name is Tenzin Namjong. I'm here in Maritika, Nepal, the place where Guru Rinpoche attained the city of immortal life. So, we are using a bit new equipment today. So, can you hear okay on the microphone? Is the sound coming through okay? You can type in the live chat. Yes or no. All right. Thank you, Shanti. Okay. So, in any case, many of you have heard the news. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. That to take best advantage of our human lives, our precious human rebirth, and also to take advantage of the fact that we are now here in this very blessed place where Guru Rinpoche attained immortal life, then we thought to arrange a one-day retreat for the long lives of the spiritual friends, and then all the sentient beings, especially those in this world, given the crisis from the COVID-19 virus. And so that will take place next Sunday, May 3rd, and we'll have 4 sessions throughout the day, and the schedule will come later. But before we do the retreat, it always is said that one should know about the various practices that one is going to be doing in the retreat. And so we're going to be doing this practice on the basis of the Long-life Lama Tsongkhapa. So it is a very blessed practice. And here again, we are coming to you from Maritika, where there's actually 3 mountains associated with the 3 so-called lords of the family, Avalokiteshvara, Manjushri, and Vajrapani. And so many of you who are familiar with the Lama Tsongkhapa practice, then Lama Tsongkhapa himself is an emanation of all 3 lords of the family. And as it is said in the Miksema, where, you know, the first 3 lines are referring to each Avalokiteshvara, Manjushri, and Vajrapani. So here, this practice of the Long-life Lama Tsongkhapa, we are, the essence is meditating on our own Guru, inseparable from Lama Tsongkhapa, who is also inseparable from Amitayus, the Buddha of long life. And here again, Maritika, in the cave that is behind me there is actually, when Guru Rinpoche attained the city of long life, he had a vision of Amitayus. And actually, there's a place where Amitayus's long life vase is there in the cave. So we thought that this very place of Maritika, you know, combines everything that this long life Lama Tsongkhapa practice contains. And so we thought it would be a very auspicious opportunity to do this practice. So I will try my best to go through the sadhana, and hopefully then we can all do the practice together next week, and accumulate a lot of these mantras, and then we'll offer the mantras to our own gurus, Lama Zopa Rinpoche, His Holiness Dalai Lama, and pray for their long lives, as well as the long lives of all the sentient beings in the world. Okay? So before we start the actual body of the teaching, then most important, as many of you know, most important thing before we engage in any activity is to adjust our motivation. So please here, adjust your motivation, thinking that the purpose of my life is to benefit all sentient beings. Sentient beings who have been my mother, my father, kind loved ones, not just once, but many, many times, countless times since beginning this samsara rebirth. And yet now, sentient beings are still suffering so much within the terrible oceans of samsara due to their being completely bound by the chains of ignorance, ignorance grasping to true existence. So now that we have attained this perfect human rebirth, where we have the internal and external conditions to make utmost progress along the path to enlightenment, enlightenment characterized by the complete eradication of all the faults of the mind, as well as the complete development of all the positive qualities, then it's not enough that we just do something for our own benefit. It's not enough just to do something even for our own liberation, but rather we need to achieve the state of highest and complete enlightenment so that we will be able to benefit sentient beings in the best way, leading them to the state of liberation and enlightenment as quickly as possible. And therefore, because the attainment of enlightenment is not without causes and conditions, we need to then accumulate those causes and conditions, namely the accumulation of merit and transcendental wisdom. And therefore, we need to learn about the various practices that lead to enlightenment. And therefore, we're going to listen to this lecture here today. Okay? So please think like that. All right. So now, I hope many of you or all of you have downloaded the practice text. So I think Shanti put it in the notes. And if you downloaded it yesterday, there's already been a few minor changes. And I think as we go through it, I'm reading it again, and then I'll find even more little things to change. But the essence and the meaning is still there. So many of you know, last year marked the 600th anniversary of Lama Tsongkhapa attaining the state of the Sambhogakaya in the Bardo, or you can say his passing away into parinirvana. And so in association with the celebration for that anniversary, there were many activities in South India, in Mungod, and among them, His Holiness the Dalai Lama gave this Long-life Lama Tsongkhapa initiation. And up until that point, there was no text available in English. So I was requested actually to translate this text. So I did so, although unfortunately I myself didn't attend the initiation. And so yeah, I'm kind of kicking myself about that now. But in any case, this isn't going to be a full kind of commentary because I myself don't have the lineage of this initiation. But since I did work with the text and ask questions about the meaning to my own teacher so that I could translate it from the Tibetan into English, I can at least explain a little bit about the words here on the page. And although I didn't have a commentary or even the initiation into this practice, I have had commentary on the general Lama Tsongkhapa Guru Yoga. And so hopefully I'll try my best, and hopefully it will be of some benefit to all of you. Okay? But by all means, if you are going to want to get further into this practice and want to do the retreat in full, then it'd be good to request the initiation if you haven't received that already, and also request commentary from a real teacher. Okay. All right. So let's just jump into the practice text then, okay? So the method of accomplishing the Lord, holder, and life entitled, quickly accomplish the deathless knowledge holder. So here, the name for the Long-life Lama Tsongkhapa actually is Tse Dzin Ma. So many of you know J is J Rinpoche, short for J Rinpoche. So J is like the Lord, okay? And so J Rinpoche is one of the epithets of Lama Tsongkhapa. So then J, Tse Dzin Ma, Tse is life, and to Zin is to hold or to grasp. So in this context, the holder of life is actually referring to the fact that in Lama Tsongkhapa's left hand is the long-life vase. So many of you know the normal aspect of Lama Tsongkhapa. He's in the Dharma teaching mudra like this. But here, I think many of you, if you saw the picture that we posted on Facebook, then in the left hand is the long life vase, and the right hand in the teaching mudra. So many of you have been to Kopan Monastery here in Nepal, and if you notice, or next time you go, you can notice that the statue of Lama Tsongkhapa there is actually in the aspect of long life Lama Tsongkhapa. Whereas if you've been to Tushita in Dharamsala, then the aspect of the statue of Lama Tsongkhapa there is the regular aspect in the teaching mudra. Okay, so this is the method to accomplish the Lord Holder of Life means long life Lama Tsongkhapa, and then it's entitled quickly accomplishing the deathless knowledge holder. So knowledge holder is deathless knowledge holder is actually the realization that Guru Rinpoche attained here in the cave, and the cave of Maritika. And so in the Nyingma system, it refers to the Mahayana path of seeing. So, one achieves the path of seeing when one has a direct realization of emptiness. And then, as it says in the Maitreya's commentary, the Uttara Tantra, that then these Arya Bodhisattvas, they no longer have the true suffering, the uncontrolled process of samsara that us ordinary beings have, and within those samsaric sufferings, then it's included the suffering of death. So most of us, or all of us, samsaric beings, we have no control over when we die. But once we attain the state of an Arya Bodhisattva, then we no longer have this body that's projected by karma and afflictions, but we have what's called a Yi Ranshingi Lu, or a subtle mental body. And then those of you who have studied, then even Arya Bodhisattvas, they can manifest 100 different emanations. They can go to 100 different Buddha fields and so forth, and that's just on the first ground. And then of the 10 Bodhisattva bhumis or grounds, one gets more and more abilities to manifest more bodies, travel to more Buddha pure realms, and benefit more sentient beings. So so then this method helps us to attain then not only the Mahayana path of seeing, but also the state of complete enlightenment. Okay. So then this was composed by Dragom Lodre Helden Öser. So did a bit of research. Ooh. Okay, I'm just seeing the comments by Pat. Yeah, it's quite windy here, if you can tell by the flags. So anyway, okay. So Dragom Lodre Pelden Öser, I did a bit of research on this, and I think that he was a abbot of Drepung Gomang Monastery. I think he was the 11th abbot. And so he is the one who composed this. All right, so now the beginning. Namo Guru Murte Munete Vajadara Sumati Kirtiye. Okay, how are we? I have my production assistant here who's going to work on the sound. So here, Namo is I prostrate. Guru, as you know, is Lama, or is also glossed as either La, being none higher, and Ma, like the mother. So the guru is known as, someone who's so kind, no one, surpassing in terms of kindness than the guru. But the more literal translation of the Sanskrit means heavy with qualities. So our guru is very heavy with qualities, means possesses many qualities. Okay, and then munerte. Okay, so this I was told by my colleague Venerable Lecton down in Sera, who's studied Sanskrit. So this mune is just like we see in Shakyamuni Buddha's mantra, Taita Om Mune Mune Mahamune Soha. So this mune, it means to subdue. Okay, and then actually this is a conjunction with mune and artha. So artha is like siddhartha. So siddhartha, siddha is to accomplish, and artha means the goal, right? So here, when you combine it, then it's like, the but that word artha can also mean essence, right? It can mean essence or meaning. So here, in my opinion, it would be, the very meaning of subduing. The very meaning of subduing means then to one subdues the mind by abandoning all the afflictions, all the obscurations. So then our guru is the one who possesses the very essence of what it means to subdue. Means the actually the Dharmakaya, the omniscient mind of the Buddha. Okay. Then Vajradhara. Then Dara means to hold, and Vajra, well, that in of itself, to explain the meaning, could take a very long time. But again, Vajradhara is known as the tantric manifestation of Shakyamuni Buddha. So Shakyamuni Buddha would manifest in the aspect of Vajradhara when he gave the Vajrayana teachings. But the Vajra itself can be, used to symbolize, like in the Vajrakara Sutra, something very hard, very powerful. So in terms of the Vajrakara Sutra, what has the power to cut through the root of samsara, but only the wisdom directly realizing emptiness. So then in the Buddha's mental continuum, then that again is the union of the method and the wisdom realizing emptiness, and the method of great compassion. So the Vajradhara is the one who holds, or possesses that ultimate Dharmakaya wisdom directly perceiving, realizing emptiness. Okay. And then Sumati Kirtiye, so that is Lama Tsongkhapa or Losang Drakpa. Losang is Sumati, and Drakpa is Kirti, and Ye is like two. Okay, so I prostrate to the Guru, who is the very essence of subduing, the holder of the Vajra, Losang Drakpa. Okay. All right. So, the dawn-like aspiration of the sole father of all the victorious ones, that refers to Manjushri, to increase the victorious one's teachings, brought forth from Songkha in the east, whose activities are similar to a victorious one, the second victorious one, Lama Tsongkhapa, a victorious one like the Lord of the 12. Okay, so here in the Tibetan, you see there's a lot of this victorious one, victorious one, victorious one. So sometimes in Tibetan kind of poetry or stanzas, they will have the same word at the beginning of each line. So here, victorious one, is Gelwa. So in each of the lines here, there's the Gelwa, 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 okay? So that's why there's so much victorious ones here. But in any case, all right. So again, this is some kind of poetic device used in the Tibetan, where dawn is like pulling forth the sun from the east. Okay, so that's why just like the sun, it's like it's pulled from the east. So this very aspiration of Manjushri right, this aspiration of bodhicitta to benefit sentient beings, okay, then Manjushri then manifested in the form of Tsongkhapa. So Tsongkhapa is known as a manifestation of Manjushri. Okay, so then this is a very important thing, right? All of our gurus, right? Then they manifest in an ordinary form in this world to benefit sentient beings. So we ordinary beings do not have the merit to see the real form of Manjushri and all his glory and splendor with the 32 major and 110 minor marks. Okay, but then due to our karma, then the guru manifests in an ordinary way, an ordinary form that we can interact with and receive teachings. So here, Manjushri then manifests in an ordinary form as Tsongkhapa, brought forth from Songkha in the east. Okay, so Tsongkhapa, okay, Songkha actually means like an onion patch. Okay, so many times you'll see and then that word pa is like the one from. Okay, or sometimes it works like er in English, right? So we have drive and driver. Okay, or so the one who does something or the one who's from a certain area. Okay, so since Tsongkhapa was born in that region, Songkha, in the eastern portion of Tibet, in present-day Amdo, then Manjushri manifested in that form, right, in order to increase the victorious ones, means the Buddha. And then Tsongkhapa, once he was born, his activities were similar to a victorious one, means the activities of teaching, of guiding sentient beings, of meditating, of gaining realizations. Tsongkhapa manifests all those deeds just like the Buddha himself would do. Okay, and therefore he was known as the second victorious one, the second Buddha in the world, because his activities were as magnificent and as extensive as the Buddha himself. Okay, and then a victorious one like the Lord of the 12. So here again, Lord of the 12 is a kind of poetic device that means the sun. So just as the sun, when it rises, right, it dispels all the darkness. So then Tsongkhapa, in his activities to teach, compose texts, and so forth, he cleared away the darkness of sentient beings, and in particular, in his 18 volumes of his collected works, the very unique thing is that he chose the most difficult points, which the previous Tibetan masters had a bit of confusion, or their writings did not explain very precisely. So this is what His Holiness the Dalai Lama always, very much praises Tsongkhapa. He wrote the most on the very subtle points of how to achieve calm abiding, how to achieve the union of calm abiding and special insight, how to achieve the illusory body and clear light mind, and how to identify the subtle object of negation to realize emptiness. Okay, so when you look in his writings, he devotes most of the writings to the most difficult points. Okay, and therefore cleared away the darkness of ignorance in sentient beings, just like the sun clears away the darkness. Okay, all right. So then, it is evident that whoever Dilsha, wow, yes, wow. When you really contemplate and know about Lama Tsongkhapa's immense qualities, that's all you can say is wow. Okay? So now it is evident that whoever brings to mind his, meaning Lama Tsongkhapa's name or body, and through making effort and supplicating, counts mixema, will accomplish whatever activities they set their mind to without depending on anything else. Okay? So here, it is evident means this, this very practice of making supplications to your guru, okay, is the very advice that then Manjushri gave to Lama Tsongkhapa. Okay, so this is something a little bit, and now the sun has come. It's a bit hot here now. Anyway, so on the one hand, right, it's kind of renowned that Lama Tsongkhapa was an emanation of Manjushri. But to ordinary appearances, we were saying that Lama Tsongkhapa then manifested in an ordinary form, means as a sentient being, as a non-Buddha, as someone, you know, possessing mistakes, as someone who still has to traverse the path. So showing that aspect of someone who still needs to practice to achieve enlightenment, he then would have visions of Manjushri, and then have these conversations about how to practice, how to meditate, and so forth. And so at one point, as many of you know, then Lama Tsongkhapa, he was, studying, he was debating at the various monasteries in Tibet. And at one point, he asks Manjushri whether his level of realization or understanding of emptiness was the same as Arya Nagarjuna. And Manjushri said, no, it's not. So then Lama Tsongkhapa asks, okay, well, how then do I get that same level of realization? And Manjushri said, well, you need to engage in purification of negative karma and accumulation of merit, and then make supplication to your own guru, inseparable from the deity. And then study the authentic treatises on emptiness, not just Nagarjuna, but also Manjushri very much emphasized the writings of Chandrakirti, who Manjushri said was a 10th ground bodhisattva who appeared in this world to clarify the teachings of Nagarjuna. Okay, so then, as the story goes, after that, Lama Tsongkhapa goes off to Rilke and went into retreat for I think 4 years or so, maybe longer, with 8 disciples. And there is where he engaged in 3.5 million prostrations, 1.8 million mandala offerings, and so forth. And yeah, and then was able to purify his mind, and then was able to realize emptiness after that, to ordinary perception. Okay, so here, right now, it is evident that whoever brings to mind Lama Tsongkhapa and makes effort in supplication. So what this means is, then Lama Tsongkhapa, after having received that advice, then told his followers, told his disciples about the very benefits, the very extensive benefits of doing the supplication to your guru, inseparable from the deity. And then this practice, the overall practice of Guru Yoga, became the very kind of lifeblood for his followers. And until this day, the practice of Guru Yoga is very much exalted and emphasized within the Gelugpa in general, but also all the Tibetan traditions. So then it is evident, means that then those followers who made effort in doing this practice, okay, they accomplished great realization. Many of these followers, they achieved the state of enlightenment. They achieved the realizations by making the practice of Guru Yoga the very heart of the path. Okay, so it is evident because the people who then put these instructions into their own practice received or attained those realizations, and therefore it is evident. Okay. So now us too, who want to receive the same level of realization, we also need to make this practice of Guru Yoga our main practice. Okay. All right. Now, here again, some poetic device. From the supreme horse's mouth of such an ascertainment comes the divine Ganga river of this sadhana. May that river that has come to those holding the wealth of the superior aspiration enter the great ocean of the four bodies. Okay, so now here, this again is my own teacher down at Seta told me that in Indian mythology, then there are these four great rivers that each supposedly come out from a different creature's mouth. So the Ganga comes from the supreme horse. Out of his mouth comes the Ganga River. And then I think there's one that comes out of a snow lion. One comes out from maybe a tiger. There's four different animals and four great rivers in India. They are kind of, in the mythology, they're supposedly coming out from those mouths, right? All right. So here, what this is saying, okay, just like the Ganga supposedly comes out of the mouth, and then as it winds through India, okay, then becomes a kind of source of benefit. People can then uh, irrigate their crops, and then eventually goes to the ocean. Okay, in the same way, this ascertainment of the benefits of making supplication to the guru inseparable from the deity you practice. Okay, then that is kind of the source of this teaching. Okay, then this sadhana is coming from that realization. So this sadhana that was then composed, to help people put that into practice. Okay, and then after the sadhana then helps those people who hold the wealth of superior aspiration. Here is laksam. Superior aspiration means this wish to liberate all sentient beings from suffering. Okay, then it will help them enter the great ocean of the four bodies. The four bodies being the four bodies of the Buddha when one achieves enlightenment. Okay, so you have the Sambhogakaya, the Nirmanakaya, the Yeshichuku, and the Ngo Niku, or the wisdom truth body and the nature truth body. Okay, so when one achieves enlightenment, one achieves all four bodies simultaneously. Okay, so this is the author of the text basically saying, his own motivation for composing this is so that the people who have the superior aspiration to benefit sentient beings can quickly achieve enlightenment by practicing these instructions. Okay. All right. So moreover, this practice itself is the way to accomplish all the stages of the collection of activities depending on the Dharma king of the three realms, the Easterner, the great Tsongkhapa. Okay. From the inconceivable methods of achieving inseparability with the savior of the three families. Okay, so again, the savior of the three families being, right, Manjushri, or the Buddha of wisdom, Avalokiteshvara, the Buddha of compassion, and Vajrapani, the Buddha of wisdom. Of power, of the power of the Buddhas. Okay, so the Lord of the three families is Tsongkhapa. Okay, and any of the extraordinary deities. Okay, here it is through meditating on the inseparability of the Lord of the land of great bliss, the victorious one Amitayus. Okay, and our Lord of the teachings, the guide of beings of the three realms, the Easterner, the great Tsongkhapa, Jesu no Sanggapa. Okay, so in general, right, Manjushri's advice was to meditate on the inseparability of your guru with the deity that you're practicing. But here, what we're going to be doing is, again, meditating on the inseparability of our guru with Lama Tsongkhapa, the Lord of the families, Lord of the three families, and the victorious one Amitayus, the Lord of the land of great bliss. Lord of land of great bliss. Land of great bliss being Sukhavati. And so here, Amitayus is the Lord of Sukhavati. So as many of you know, then also Amitabha and Amitayus. Okay, yes, you know the difference. So Amitayus is they're the same kind of mind stream, but Amitayus is the aspect in Sambhogakaya aspect, right? And then Amitabha is the Nirmanakaya aspect. And so they both are the lords of the Pure Land of Sukhavati, or Devachen. Okay? All right. You understand? So here, the point is, we're meditating on the inseparability of our Guru, the Lama Tsongkhapa, and Amitayus. Okay? All in one. So whoever wishes for the holy holders of the teachings' lives to remain stable for hundreds of eons, and to clear away the fear of untimely death for the sponsors of the teachings, the collections of Sangha, or men or women for whom this practice is being performed, they should, in an agreeable place, set up representations of the body, speech, and mind, such as a statue of the Lord, holder of life, arrange offerings, tormas, and so forth. Okay? So here, you see, later we'll get into this, but this practice can be done in relation to help accomplish the long lives of the spiritual friends. So here, it's important to note, when we say we're doing this practice for our gurus, okay, it's like, in the Golden Light Sutra, I think maybe third chapter, the chapter on the span of the Tathagata's life, then the Levachi youth, he has a doubt, and he asks the Buddha, um, Buddha, um, the causes of achieving long life is to, give up killing, and giving food and the conditions to sustain lives to others. And yet, Buddha, you have accomplished all those conditions, but it was known that he was only going to live for 80 years. And he says, well, why is that? Okay. So Buddha then responds, well, it's not because, the Buddha couldn't have lived longer, right? But then when you fast forward to the time when the Buddha was about to pass away, Ananda was kind of given some clues, some hints by the Buddha. The Buddha said, like, oh, the Vajra body, means the Buddha's body, could remain until the end of the eon. So at that time, it is said that had Ananda requested that the Buddha then remain till the end of the eon, then the Buddha would have. But it is said that Ananda was obscured by the Maras. His mind was very confused. And so he didn't request the Buddha to remain till the end of the eon, and so he passed away. So in any case, now for us, okay, it's not that, as it says in the Lama Chupa, that the gurus have attained the Vajra holy body. They can, sustain life for as long as they want from their side. But it's up to us as the students to request the gurus not to pass away into parinirvana, to request teachings, to request that they remain, teach us, and guide us. Okay? So when we do that, what we're actually doing is we're purifying our own negative karmic obscurations that would have us, be separated from our gurus, and to have us, not be continually guided for and, led by teaching and guidance from the gurus. Okay, so don't think, anything else, like the gurus need our prayers. Otherwise, I don't know. Somehow they won't be able to live. We need to purify our minds of obscurations. Okay, and that's why we do this practice. Okay. All right. Then, to clear away the fears of untimely death for the sponsors of the teachings, the collection of Sangha, or men and women for whom this practice is performed. So then you can also do this practice for yourself, for loved ones, people you know. Okay. And we're going to get into how to do that. There's a little bit difference in the visualizations for who you do the practice for. Okay. So in any case, all of us then should, in an agreeable place, that means, a place that is conducive for meditation, we set up representations of the body, speech, and mind, such as a statue of Lord of Life. That would be a representation of the body. You can have a text as a representation of the speech, and a stupa as a representation of the mind. And then you arrange offerings. So, 7 water bowl offerings. Of course, if you have the means to do so, you can set up as many as you're able to, and also including butter lamps, incense, food, whatever you like. Okay, whatever is pleasing to you. And then tormas. So even just packs of biscuits is fine if you don't have the traditional sampa and butter tormas. Okay. Then sit on a comfortable seat and conjoin the mind with bodhicitta, thinking in this way: for the purpose of all mother sentient beings, I'll attain the state of complete enlightenment. For that purpose, I will practice these profound instructions. All right. So again, bodhicitta, as many of you know, as it says in the Abhisama Kara, Semkipani Shendinchi Yama Zope Janchu De. So bodhicitta actually has 2 wishes associated with it. And the first is this: for the purpose of all mother sentient beings. So you have the wish at the time of the cause, right? So before you actually achieve the real mind of bodhicitta, you first have, in the 7-point cause and effect instructions, number 6, this extraordinary aspiration, thinking, I myself will liberate all sentient beings from suffering and lead them to the state of enlightenment. Okay? That is the prerequisite. That is the motivation, or the wish at the time of the cause of bodhicitta. But then you reflect that in my current state, I'm unable to benefit sentient beings. I myself am completely enshrouded by ignorance. I myself am drowning in the ocean of samsaric suffering myself. So how much benefit can I really offer others? But then you think, oh, but if I were able to achieve the state of highest enlightenment, Sangye, characterized by the complete ratification of all faults and the complete accumulation or increase of all good qualities, then I'll be able to benefit sentient beings in the best way, and therefore that's what I'm going to do. Then that mind, the wish to achieve enlightenment, is the actual bodhicitta, but it has to necessarily be preceded by the wish to be of utmost benefit for all sentient beings. Okay, you can't just think, oh, I want to be praised by everyone, so I'm going to achieve enlightenment. It's not like that. Okay, all right. So again, as we said at the beginning, it's not as good as it is to have that wish, or that commitment. I will achieve complete enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. That's not enough. You actually have to engage in the various practices that lead to enlightenment, right? And so, for that purpose, in order to achieve enlightenment, I'm going to practice these instructions. Okay, so then in that way, you can think it's like the wishing and the engaging bodhicitta. The wishing bodhicitta being the mere wish to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings, but then the engaging bodhicitta is then, although I wish, I'm now going to engage in these practices. I'm going to engage in these profound instructions. Okay? All right. So now the visualization. So then you visualize in the sky in front, on a lion throne, sun and moon seat, sits the object of refuge, the principal being, my kind Guru, inseparable from the Lord, holder of life, surrounded by all the root and lineage Gurus, Yidams, Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, heroes, Dakinis, protectors and guardians of the Dharma. Okay? Or, if abbreviated, meditate according to the system of all encompassed into one jewel. All right. So here, many of you know the Lama Tsongkhapa practice, and the Lama Tsongkhapa merit field has in the middle Lama Losang Tupuang Dorje Chang, right? So it's Lama Tsongkhapa. At his heart is Buddha Shakyamuni. At his heart is Vajradhara. Okay, and then from that, all these light rays radiate. You have the lineage gurus, the extensive deeds lineage, the profound view lineage. You have all the deities surrounding. Okay, so quite complex, quite difficult. So if you have the superior meditation abilities to visualize in that way, by all means you can do. Or, if abbreviated, this system of all encompassed into one jewel, what you would do is just visualize the the aspect of Long-life Lama Tsongkhapa in the space in front on the lion throne and the lotus sun and moon. Okay, and then just Long-life Lama Tsongkhapa. Okay, but you envision or you recall that it's inseparable from your own guru, and in turn is the kind of manifestation or one in essence with all the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Okay, so how that is, so then the body of the guru is like the Sangha. The Sangha, our spiritual companions. So then the body, the guru manifesting in a form we can interact with and be guided and led, is the Sangha. Then the speech of the guru is like the Dharma, because it's only through the guru's speech that we're able to understand and come to understand the various Dharma teachings. And then the mind of the guru, right, is the Dharmakaya, and that is the one that has really Sangye. It's the mind of the Buddha that is the one that has completely pacified and eradicated all faults and developed all the good qualities. Okay, so that is how then even all in one jewel, that is our guru, inseparable from Long-life Lama Tsongkhapa, how that in turn encompasses all the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Okay, so then surrounding ourself, right, visualize clearly all sentient beings in human aspect and imagine they're all taking refuge in unison. Okay, so some of you know this practice. It's there in the Jorche. So since we are doing this practice essentially for all sentient beings, it sets up an auspicious dependent arising. So you can think that you're sitting kind of on the top of a mountain, and all around the mountain is all sentient beings, and you visualize them in human form. Even though you're visualizing all the six realms sentient beings, it's auspicious to visualize them as humans, because it's the human birth that is the best basis for practicing the Dharma. Especially the human birth that all of you have, okay? Because you have the three substances from the father, three substances from the mother, that make you a suitable candidate to practice High Soda Tantra. And so all of you, young or old, you all can achieve enlightenment in that very body that you're sitting in right now. Okay, so it says in some of the teachings that there are some certain pure lands of the Buddha where there's no tantric teaching, and so there's even bodhisattvas in those pure lands of the Buddha that pray, "Oh, may I be reborn on earth." So it's really amazing this opportunity we have. So anyway, so that's why we visualize all the sentient beings in this human aspect. And then we think that now we are doing this practice with sentient beings. So we're going to then, take refuge with all sentient beings. We're going to, recite these mantras and do the meditation and so forth with all sentient beings. And it is said that thinking in that way sets up an auspicious dependent arising, that then when we achieve enlightenment, it's like we then can, achieve enlightenment together with all sentient beings. Okay. All right. So then next, the refuge. All right. So here, remember, whenever we're doing these sadhanas, these kind of formal practices, it's not just about reciting the words, but the words should evoke a certain mental state within us. So here, the practice of refuge, we need to accumulate the two causes, or have the two causes present for going for refuge. Those two causes, as all of you, or many of you know, are having fear and faith. So fear actually is more this kind of seeing a certain condition and not wanting to experience it, right? So the kind of worldly example is when it's raining, and that might happen very soon here. But if it starts to rain, one has the thought, "Oh, I don't want to get wet." and therefore one searches for a place, right, where one can be protected from getting wet. And then if one sees a roof or a building, you say, oh, okay, I think if I go there, I'll be protected from getting wet. And then you go inside the building. Okay, so in a similar way, then one sees a kind of unfavorable condition, and here you can relate it to the paths of the three capable beings, seeing either the general suffering, the suffering of the lower realms of existence, the general sufferings of samsara, or combined with great compassion, wishing to free others from the oceans of samsaric suffering, then seeing the faults of not being enlightened, you see. And so then the three jewels of refuge, the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, then by practicing the Dharma, which is the actual refuge, then we will be able to be protected or get out of the state that any of those three situations, suffering in the lower realms, general suffering of samsara, or not being enlightened, right? By practicing the Dharma, we'll be able to be free from all of that. Okay? So then reflecting on how those various qualities of the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha then have the ability to protect you from those kind of unfortunate states, then the actual mind of going for refuge is then to completely entrust yourself to following the Dharma path that is taught by the Buddha. Okay? All right. So then I go for refuge to Guru, I go for refuge to the Buddha, I go for refuge to the Dharma, I go for refuge to the Sangha. Okay. So anyway, the practice of refuge itself could be a very long teaching, but I think many of you know already, so we'll just kind of go on. Okay? So then additionally, you say, I go for refuge to the assembly of deities of the Dharma King of the three realms, the Easterner, Tsongkhapa, the holder of life, and I go for refuge to the glorious Holy Savior, Dharma protector guardians endowed with the primordial wisdom I. So it says recite the 4 or 6 line refuge formula. Okay, so the first 4 lines is the 4 line, and then you add those additional 2 verses, that becomes the 6th line. So then it's up to you what you choose to do. Okay, so next, refuge and bodhichitta. So these lines were composed by Lama Atisha Dipamkara, who was the great Indian master who then helped to spread the teachings of the Buddha to Tibet. And so the first 2 lines are refuge. So again, I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, Dharma, the Supreme Assembly. And then these next 2 lines is the mind of bodhicitta. Due to the collections arising from giving and so forth, may I become Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. So I think in the original text that Atisha wrote, it was Dagi Jinso Gipe Sunam Ki. Okay, so Sunam is like from the merit from giving and so forth. But in more recent times, His Holiness the Dalai Lama said, rather than saying Dagi Jinso Gipe Sunam Ki, right? Dagi Jinso Gipe Sok Nam Ki. Okay, so Sok is the collection, and then Nam is a pluralizer. Okay, so then it's the collections, right? And here we have the collections of merit and transcendental wisdom, right? So we think due to my practice of giving, and then all the 6 perfections, giving, ethical discipline, patience, enthusiastic perseverance, meditation, and wisdom, then from the collections of merit and transcendental wisdom from those 2 practices, from the 2 collections arising from the 6 perfections, may I achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. And so also, His Holiness says, then when you recite in this way, you should think, right? In the Tibetan, it's like da, ki jinso gipe sonam ki, right? Or soknam ki. So then this da, or this I, then we can also meditate a little bit on the nature of the I. So who is this I that is now engaging in these practices? Who is the I that's going to achieve enlightenment? Okay. So, well, again, to get into that in a full way, we need to talk about emptiness, maybe some other time. But in any case, at the very least, you can think that, okay, this I is the one that is kind of merely imputed on the basis of designation, the body and mind. There is no I that's existing kind of independent from the body and mind. That might be good enough for now. Okay. So then we have the four immeasurables. May all mother sending beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sending beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sending beings never be separated from the happiness without suffering. May all sending beings abide in the mind of immeasurable equanimity, free from attachment and aversion to those close and distant. So I think many of you know these four immeasurables. They show up in virtually every sadhana. So I guess all I can say is when you're actually doing the practice, please, don't just skip through all this stuff. Try to meditate to the best of your ability. As some of you know, in the Dorje, then each one of these four immeasurables is again broken into four. So you would first think, how wonderful it would be if all sentient beings had happiness in the causes of happiness. May they have happiness in their causes. I myself will lead all sentient beings to have happiness and its causes. Please, Guru Devi, bless me that I may be able to do this. Okay. So if you had more time, it's very helpful to meditate in a more extensive way on these four immeasurables. Okay. All right. Right. Because I guess most of you know, right? I always try to emphasize this, but the Tibetan word for meditation is gom, right? And gom means to habituate or familiarize. So, doing the sadhana isn't just to say, like, reciting something with the mouth, but nothing is going on in the mind, but to actually take these, four different thoughts really to heart and have some mental transformation. That's what we need to do. Okay. All right. So then, after meditating on the four immeasurables, then we think all the objects of refuge in the aspect of orange light dissolve into space between my eyebrows and bless my mind. So it was hot a few minutes ago, and I was complaining. And now, due to the blessings of my guru, I'm getting a lesson on impermanence, impermanence, and the suffering of change. So. Now, the objects of refuge, however we did it, if it's the whole field of merit, like the Namachapa, or just the all-encompassing jewel, we now visualize that they kind of absorbs, into heart of the guru in the space in front, into orange light, and then dissolves into the space between my eyebrows, and then blesses my mind. Okay? All right. Hi. Yeah. What do you guys think? We could, switch, like Patricia has. Oh no, Patricia. Maybe we can go downstairs into shelter, right? And it's gonna start to rain, maybe. So let's take a break, okay? And we will continue a live stream in like 5 minutes, okay? And in any case, now it's coming up on 1 hour. So just think we're taking a pause here, and we'll continue in a couple minutes. Okay, thank you very much. Namaste.